see how this thing works. Gonna slide it in. Get that clip up there. Good to go. I think so. There we go. Alright, got this nice drink.
You're now tuned into pSyk's weekly Nerf dosage.
This is a pretty new drink. It's Heaven and Earth's mango tea with a hint of chamomile, and it's just awesome. I really like it. Hey, what's up good people? Welcome to my Ask Me Anything Answers video. First of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who put a question down in the comments for my questions video. You guys already know that I've actually seen your questions. I haven't thought about it, but I've seen your questions because of two reasons. One, I wanted to tell you guys that I've acknowledged your question. And number two, it's because if a question didn't make sense to me, or if I couldn't understand exactly what you were asking, I would seek clarification. I'll try and go by chronological order, starting from the first question back to the last, I guess. I think so. It should be it. So the first question comes from the Malevolent Hippo, and it's also a question that SBNC asked, and they ask, what are a few of your favorite mods that you haven't done yourself? A few of my favorite mods, The Vengeance, the Guru, Strifely, but my favorite one of all, the Talos or the Talos that Forsaken Angel made. I think that's a really awesome and super epic blaster. I don't know, that man has mad creativity in that brain of his. He just blows my mind. Obsessive Nerf 55 asks, have you ever visited the US for Nerf related reasons? No, I'm sorry. I would love to though, but no, unfortunately. Obsessive Nerf 55 also asks, how much do you lift, bro? Honestly though, I don't really lift at all. I just do a lot of push-ups, if you're really wondering. I work out in my room, you know, the usual cardio stuff, sit-ups, push-ups, crunches, and etc. But I do a lot of upper body workouts, so there's like a lot of different types of push-ups. Julian asks, hey Ben, what's your bad worst habit? And then I sought clarification on this, and his response is, both personal life, if you don't mind asking. I tend to leave things at random places and forgetting about them. And also in Nerf modding or during Nerf games. Alright, I'll start with during Nerf games. My worst habit in Nerf games is not caring about dart sweeps. To be honest with you guys, I tend to spend quite a lot of money on darts, whether I buy them like, you know, in bulk at cheap rates, like, you know, especially we have access to darts on eBay and on, I mean, cheap darts or third-party made darts on eBay and from Taobao. So they're really cheap. Or I would commission, you know, like 500 darts. Like I used to commission Itani for Stefan's, and I'm just lazy in dart sweep, so I'm just prepared to blow that cash on darts. But I know I'm technically littering the place, but yeah, that's my worst habit in Nerf games. In Nerf modding, my worst habit is trying to handle too many projects at once. What I mean to say is, when it comes to, you know, parts of the mod where it's like, you know, time to goop or time to epoxy something, and you're just waiting for your adhesive to cure, during that period of time I like to be working on something else. So instead of working on the same mod, I generally work on 2 or more mods at the same time. So it's like, okay, now I've got everything filed and sent it down. I'll wash, say, mod A. I'll wash a shell of mod A, and then while waiting for it to dry, I'll start working on mod B. And when I reach a point where, okay, now it's time to goop the barrel into mod B, for example, then I'll start working on mod C. In mod C, I'll just work to the point where, okay, now it's time to wait for the paint to cure, then I'll work on mod D instead of alternating between A and B. So that's my worst habit in terms of Nerf modding. In my personal life, I have a bad habit of coughing. I've had this cough for about 10 years or so, and I've only recently come to find out that this is actually called, I have to Google this because I can't remember the name of this cough. It's labeled as the mystery chronic cough or laryngeal sensory neuropathy. or the neuropathic sensory cough. So that's when researchers believe that one of the nerve endings is damaged and always triggers your body to want to cough. Now for me, it triggers a sensation of having a lot of phlegm in my throat. Sometimes I do, but most of the time I don't, and I just cough. So it's pretty bad. I've been having it for like about a decade or so, and I like to view it as a bad habit, and I'm just trying my best to quit it. That's my worst habit in, I guess, in general life. It's strange that I'm admitting it to you guys, but yeah, because most of you have never met me in person. But people who have, they know. They probably just are being really polite and not asking me about it. Some people just genuinely ask me, hey, are you sick? You seem to have a cough. So people who've known me for a long time know that I have this cough that has never stopped. Will Stoller asks, do you like flywheels or springers more? Also, have you always hated durians? I like springers more. I like springers more. If you're wondering why, it's because I feel that for flywheels, it's always reliant on your batteries. Of course, I do have some flywheels at home. I have some flywheel blasters. I'm looking to modify another Rabbit Strike, and I'm looking to modify or overhaul a Strife. I already have a Rabbit pistol that is completely overhauled. Shoutouts to Blaster Tech. I just like springers more. And yes, I've always hated durians. I never once liked durians. I did manage to eat some before, but that was like when the durian tasted really sweet, but it's always a risk. For me, if you guys know me, I like to challenge my foreign friends to try out the durian. But to be fair, in exchange, I would eat the durian with them because they know that I don't like it. Majority of the people I know here in Singapore, they love the durian. But it makes me gag, it makes me want to puke. Sometimes I actually do puke, so I've never liked it. Deathcon86 asks, what do you think about Amos Yee? Now, most of you, my viewers, don't know who Amos Yee is, and that was a really loud motorbike. Most of you, my viewers, don't know who Amos Yee is, but he is a... I don't know if you want to call him a rebel, but he is a sort of political figure. I don't know, I guess he's just a misled soul. What do I think about Amos Yee? If you're not Singaporean, this name would not, mean anything to you. So I'm sorry that you guys have to sit through my answer, but basically I don't think anything about Amos Yee. I'm sorry, he's just another person just doing what he thinks is right, or doing whatever he feels like doing. That's what I think about Amos Yee. Delta 99 Omega asks, scar barrel or rifled muzzle? Scar barrel. It could be a 3D printed one. It could be a traditional one where you use the fishing line, or it could be 3D barbecue or JSPB style where they actually use just some string. I think it works. Honestly, I think it works. Minglo asks, what day job do you do? At the same time, Bob also asks, I know you as a nerfer, but I don't have a clue what you do for a living. I'm curious, and I probably never would have asked without this open invitation. Shoutouts to you, Bob. You're someone that I've always, held with high respect since the early days that I started nerfing. So respect to you. I work in an advertising and design agency, and I am a project manager. What that means basically is I am in charge of traffic. So between managing the client's needs and dealing with my creatives, be it graphic designers or web designers, or you call them developers or programmers, I just make sure that all timelines are met. So yeah, that's my day job. Jefferdine Reyes Tor asks, why doesn't Itani upload videos anymore? Sad face. Itani is a really good friend of mine. I guess he's just really busy. With the way things are in Singapore, I guess not everyone has the luxury to maintain a hobby or doing something for long, because life always changes, and Itani's time is all taken up by work. I would say that, yeah. I mean, he still has his blasters at home, and you know, every once in a while we catch up and he'd still tell me like, you know, like, I miss modding, you know, and he would ask me, you know, hey man, how in the world do you actually have the time to mod, you know, with work and all that? So I just told him it's really just, I don't mod that much anymore actually. I just spend like maybe an hour a day and maybe 2 hours on the weekends just to do a simple mod. So just doing my best to keep this channel going. Yeah, so Itani is just busy, you know. His life has changed, and I'm sure it's changed for the better, you know, as we all grow up in this journey called life. So yeah, I guess that's why he doesn't upload his videos anymore, or he doesn't really have time to make videos anymore. Yeah, I miss his videos too. Jason Fong asks, how do we contact you for commissions? You can't, I'm sorry, I don't accept commissions. Rockery MHFU asks, wait, Monster Hunter Freedom Unite. Monster Hunter rocks, bro. Do you play any video games? Your username pSykSG looks insanely familiar. I'm pretty sure you used to play MapleStory LOL. Unfortunately, I never played MapleStory. Back in the day, I used to play Gunbound. But pSykSG came up only because of this particular channel. I was always known as Psych, you can see. I've been known around the world as pSyk, and pSykSG is only because I had to register a separate channel for YouTube so I could upload all my Nerf videos. My original channel was just pSyk, so that's where pSykSG came up. So unfortunately, I never used that for MapleStory. It apparently is a pretty common username or handle, so maybe someone else might be using pSykSG on Maple. I don't know. Currently, I don't play much. I don't even consider myself a real gamer, but right now I'm playing One Finger Death Punch, both on the PC and on my Apple iPhone. I absolutely love that game. Heck, Zis or Zis, I don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry, but Heck asks, how did you get a K25 and K26 spring? I'm assuming that Heck is a Singaporean, which is why he's asking me how I could get a K25 and K26 spring. We are not able to purchase stuff from McMaster and get them shipped here unless you have a hookup, you know, or someone that would actually help you procure it and send it over to you in Singapore. But for me, I used to buy a lot of, I guess, pre-loved blasters online. And sometimes I would buy, I guess, modded blasters from overseas back in the days of Nerf Revolution, you know. And sometimes I would buy, like for example, a Plasbo or whatever. And I would salvage those stuff once I'm done with it, or if like it breaks or whatever. When I'm done with it, that's how I actually obtained my K25, K26, K29 springs. A lot of them actually came packaged with longshot mods or longshot mod kits, where in the States it's very common to use a K26 spring for long shots. Kat asks, what do you think about Bonauto? Those of you who are not Singaporean would also not know who Bonauto is. Wait, let me rephrase that. Those of you who are not Singaporean and not a part of the Nerf Singapore community would not know who Bonauto is. I've heard a lot of stories about this legendary character called Bonauto, who calls himself Spartank or the King or something like that, I don't know. But I think that there is a possibility that he might be a mentally unsound person. I don't know because I've never met him before. I might want to, just for the fun of it, just to see how he is in person. But if you search hard enough, you'll actually be able to see the way he speaks online and the way he speaks in videos, and you guys can judge for yourself. What do I think about Bonauto? Very much like Amos Yee, I don't think anything particularly about him because I don't know him and I don't know Amos Yee. So yeah, it's just people being themselves. As much as we like or dislike it, they're just doing whatever they want to do. Max Hardy 123 asks, do you still teach dancing? Unfortunately, no, I don't. He also asks, and I'm gonna assume that it's a he because of the word Max in it. I'm sorry if you're not a he. Can you do the whisper challenge with your girlfriend? I'm sorry, no. Big Bad W asks, favorite parts provider? Orange Mod Works, Oz Nerf Nerd, other. I'm just assuming that he's asking who is my favorite parts provider. I don't actually have a favorite parts provider. I like different parts providers for different parts, if that makes sense to you. For example, Orange Mod Works, I think the springs are awesome. Oz Nerf Nerd, the most outstanding thing that I think that Oz Nerf Nerd has ever made were the laser cut aluminium reinforcement, I guess, plates, yeah, for the long shot bolt sled. Every third party mod kit or accessory provider has their own, you know, really cool stuff that I really like, so everything is more or less equal to me. What's most important to me is value for money and price point. Yeah, if you're asking what is my absolute favorite right now at this moment, I guess I would have to say F10555 from China, because his stuff is just purely amazing. No disrespect to anyone else, because I love Jodo, I love Hobby Mods, you know, I love Gavin, no homo, but you guys already know, I own quite a lot of stuff from different parts providers, so to me it's always about value for money and practicality of the item. Yeah. Ace Tactics asks, do you stereotype Americans as fat? Absolutely no. Min2 asks, I see you have a few gaming peripherals on your desk in the background. What games do you play currently? And which were the most memorable games that you have played? Wow, okay. What games do I play currently? I already answered that question just now. I am currently playing One Finger Death Punch. Most memorable games that I played. Wow. I don't know where to start. Street Fighter is my absolute favorite game of all time. Especially Street Fighter 3 Third Strike. That's my favorite Street Fighter. Now, Street Fighter just reminds me of my childhood. Next memorable game is Sonic the Hedgehog on the Sega Genesis. I remember buying the Knuckles version and then having the stack Sonic on top. But I guess games that really struck a chord with me, really made a huge impact was I don't know if you guys know about this game called Brave Story. It was out on the PSP. Final Fantasy 7. That's my absolute favorite one out of the series. I played 8, I played 9, I played 3 and 5, 6 and 7. 7's my favorite. I absolutely love Monster Hunter. Only if it's multiplayer. I don't really like grinding on my own, but in the past when I would always play Monster Hunter with my friends, grinding on my own would always, you know, I mean, the reason would always be so that I could have bragging rights the next time we meet up and just show off my new armor or my new weaponry to them. And if you guys are wondering, I am a hammer user. Anson Tan asks, when you get interested in Nerf and what is your first Nerf gun? I got interested in Nerf in the year 2009, late 2009. My first Nerf gun was the Maverick. Shadow Sword 12 asks, hey Psych, I know a few people from Singapore from a game called Ayakashi Ghost. Kyle, ever heard of it? Sorry, I've never heard of it. And some of them use slang words known as Singlish. Do you know any Singlish? Sorry if stupid question. It's not a stupid question at all. Among Singaporeans, we speak Singlish. It's a little bit like what you guys would know as Spanglish when you mix English and Spanish words together. So Singlish, alright. Just a quick background story for you guys. Singapore doesn't really have Singaporeans, if that makes sense to you guys. We're a country comprised of different races and ethnicity. Chinese, Malays, Indians, Eurasians, Caucasians, Japanese, Koreans. We have all of that by race, by blood, or whatever you want to call it. And our citizenship is all Singaporean, if that makes sense to you. So I'm technically a Chinese Singaporean. Like for example, Itani is a Chinese Singaporean. Backspacer is a Malay Singaporean. Alright, so hopefully that sets the understanding first of all. Back in the day, when the people of Singapore weren't that educated yet, people lived in villages, right? They would live in settlements, and in each village or estate, maybe you could call it an estate, it would be comprised of different ethnicities, right, of people, different races, and they would just randomly speak in their own language, and they would use whatever English words that they knew of. So everyone, basically at that point of time, everyone could speak more than one language. It might be broken, but like for example, a single person would be able to speak a few dialects of Chinese like Mandarin, Cantonese, Hokkien, Teochew, and then they could also speak Malay, and they could also speak English. And then you would just take certain words, mainly words of expression or expressive words from each different language, and mix them up and converse that way. So that's how Singlish came about. So you hear a lot of people saying la la la. That's Singlish. No, that's not technically Singlish. It is a part of Singlish, but you don't just say, oh, something la and make it Singlish. It's really just a way of breaking it down. Like you would use broken English, broken Chinese, broken Malay, and form a sentence. Like for example, instead of saying what are you doing today, you'd say what you do today. What are we going to eat for lunch? So we'll just say, hey, lunch, eat what ah? So that's like A is like calling out to you, A, lunch, eat what? Is like a question, an expressive question. I believe that might have come from the Chinese roots. So even the intonation of the words is all different. If we were to say something's really good, sometimes you go, "Wah power sia." Sia is actually a cut down Malay word which was originally sial. Yeah, it's things like that. That's Singlish. So I guess it's very expressive. It's pretty straightforward. You cut down a lot of syllables and vowels and a lot of, I guess, I don't know, just words to make things short and fast, because it fits the pace of life in Singapore. Everything in Singapore is always in a rush. It's high speed. So even the speech is high speed. One very, very good example is the word very, and another word is never mind. We don't say very, 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 very. We go ver, and never mind is shortened to nemai. Something like that. That's Singlish. So yeah, we all converse in Singlish all the time. I bet if I had a full-on Singlish conversation, most of you would not understand half of what we were saying. Most of the time it sounds South African or a little bit Jamaican. Yeah, that's what it sounds like to people in the Western countries. LSSJ Brogeta, or was it Brogita? I'm sorry bro, I forgot how to pronounce your name. Asks, okay, questions. Who is your favorite artist band? What's your favorite movie? What's your biggest pet peeve? My favorite artist band, Oasis. I really, really, really love Oasis. Now, I'm talking about the Morning Glory days, and that was my favorite Oasis. Right now, I guess it's always changing. My favorite producer's always changing, but one that has stuck throughout all the time is this amazing man known as Fingers, or Fingerdelic if you guys know him. He's a wonderful producer, and I think that he's quite a genius. My favorite movie would be Mystery Men. I'm not really that big of a movie buff, but I would say Mystery Men. What's your biggest pet peeve? I don't know. Honestly, many things piss me off. I guess when things don't go my way, I get pissed off already. Telling someone not to do something and that person still does it anyway? That might be it. Hayden Cole asks, when and why did you get into Nerf modding? This question is a bit different from Anson's question because Hayden actually asks why I got into Nerf modding. So, when you already know, 2009. Why? Because of my first blaster, the Maverick. Most of you guys already know this, but I'll just answer it again anyway. I used to be very big on custom painting my Gundam figurines. You guys might be able to see in the background, I don't know, but those are my custom painted Gundam figurines. I was very into hobby kit and hobby modeling and just repainting stuff with spray cans. And a friend of mine, Tyrone, knew that I really liked to repaint stuff. One day just came up to me and said, hey, have you seen this Nerf gun? It's called the Maverick, and it's awesome, man. It's a 6-round like revolver thing, and it's really cool, it's really fun, and hey, if you go and paint it. I took it apart, did the paint job, and I decided, okay, I'm gonna just try and mod it since I've got it open and all. So I did like the penny mod, I removed the AR, and that's all I did. And I was like, oh my god, I could get this improvement just by doing these two small little things. Like, this is really interesting. And then that is how I fell in love with Nerf modding. The more I modded Blaster, the more I loved it. So yeah. Hayden Cole also asks, and how old are you? I am 32 right now. Yes, I know I'm old by standards, I guess, by norms, saying that, you know, you're really too old to be playing with Nerf guns and stuff. I really don't give a shit if you think I'm too old. I don't know. But hey, I don't look 32. I guess I'm blessed with a pretty young looking face, yeah? Good Gamer asks, will we get the Nerf rival or Doomland line? I'm assuming that you are Singaporean because you're asking me this question. I don't know, because I don't work for Hasbro. Kronoswa the Master asks, can with a K, you use aluminium as a breech? If you can find material sizes that sleeve over each other perfectly, and if it holds your darts perfectly, you could use almost anything as a breech. So why not if you have the right measurements? XX Unknown 5XX asks, where do you live in Singapore? I live in Pasir Ris. XX Unknown 5XX also asks, why do you not do gaming vids? Because I don't play games much. Random Gamer 69100 asks a few questions. Is there I'm sorry, I'm quite a grammar Nazi. Is there an age restriction for the upcoming HVZ on 1st December, and if so, what is the restriction? Where HVZ would be held at, and where would the briefing be at? Honestly, I have no idea. I'm not the organizer of HVZ Singapore. I'm assuming it's going to be Singapore, and I don't even know if it's on the 1st of December. So I'm sorry, you're asking the wrong person. That said, however, whenever I do get information, I will help to publicize it here on my channel, because I've always done so. If anyone approaches me and asks for publicity, or, you know, to help to shout out a certain event here in Singapore, gladly, why not? Last year, the organizer was none other than Expired Yogurt himself. I don't know who's going to be organizing this year's HVZ, or if there even is going to be an HVZ this year. I have no idea. Alright, so I guess we'll all have to stay tuned and sit tight together. That sounds kind of wrong, but you know what I'm trying to say. Norman Adley asks, Psych, what is your real name? My real name is Benedict Cole. If you guys already have me on Facebook, you would know. So yeah, that's my name. Taicho Riders Games, or Taiko Riders Games, asks, your favorite mod made by yourself? My favorite mod made by myself. Good question. I really don't know how to answer this question. Made by myself. I don't know. I'm not able to answer this question. I don't really have a particular favorite. I have my own favorite blaster, but I don't have a favorite mod. I guess I've always seen mods as mods. What about if I tell you what the most interesting mod was? That would be the Duo Force. I think that up to date, that is the most interesting mod I've done. Preston Lee asks, what kind of a job do you have? I already answered that. Do you have any old school Mega Whistler darts? Do you own a crossbow? Do you own an ERTL pump action shotgun? How old are you? How long have you been doing Nerf? How old I am has been answered already. How long I've been doing Nerf, just go do the math. Since 2009. Do you have any old school Mega Whistler darts? I don't think they ever made any Mega Whistler darts. I do have the old school original Mega darts, but I've never heard of old school Mega Whistler darts. I'm sorry. Do you own a crossbow? No. Never have. Don't think I ever will. Do you own an ERTL pump action shotgun? I think my previous videos of PASs would answer your question. The Griever2112 asks, shout out to you, Griever. I miss you, bro. I have no idea why it is so hard to come up with a question. Any future trips to the States? I don't know. I don't know where life is gonna take me. I sure hope so. I miss the States. I miss it. I've only been to New York. I wanna go visit San Fran. I wanna go visit Portland, Oregon. I wanna go visit Cali, Long Beach. I want to go visit LA. So many places I want to go. I just don't know. I'm sorry, bro. But if I do go, I will definitely hit you up. The Full Stop 23 asks, "Hey Psych, how do you do a padded mod for Retaliator? I googled but couldn't find anything concrete. I have a stage 1 and 2 orange modburst kit on my Retaliator, and the sound it makes, like a clang when it fires, is very annoying. I prefer like a padded sound, like a foop, or anything lesser on the decibel meter is appreciated. Is this possible? Sorry if this is a stupid question, no fat jokes please. And thanks in advance, Psych." I don't think, like, I'm pretty sure I answered you and I said that, you know, this is not a stupid question. Now the thing about it is, the way the Retaliator plunger rod is made, you can't really add padding to it because it would affect the way you prime the blaster, unfortunately. There is a way though. If you guys remember, there was this one China Retaliator mod kit, and in that kit you would get a silicone ring for you to insert into the front part of the plunger tube. That would be kind of the padding that you are looking for. So try to do some research on Taobao. If not, go into Nerf Singapore and ask for what is known as the Retaliator Tiong kit. Now I'm not trying to be racist, none of us are, it's not a racial slur, it's just the way we call it because it's easy to coin it that. So just go into Nerf Singapore and ask if anyone has a Retaliator Tiong kit for sale. Yeah, so try that instead. Hope that helps. Hi Goodman, or HY Goodman, or He Goodman, I don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry, asks, "What is your favorite Nerf gun? Which school were you from?" My favorite Nerf brand blaster would be the Longshot, hands down. Secondary school, I was from St. Patrick's School. I know, but it's a good school and some of the best times of my life. In terms of tertiary school, I was from Temasek Polytechnic School of Engineering. Spartan Spear asks, "What's your favorite video game?" My favorite video game, I answered just now, Street Fighter 3, Third Strike. Zippo225 asks, "If I pay you 20 Australian dollars for those PMags and pay for shipping to Australia, would you ship them to me please? I'll buy a few if they come in different colors like green and orange." And then Aaron Xuan comes in and answers on my behalf and says, "You might want to try contacting members of the community on Facebook. There are many there who are willing to assist you with just that." I hope you've done that so far. I'm not able to help you purchase and ship back to Australia simply because of my job. Now, whenever I go to work is the same time when the post office operates, so I'm not able to just go out and ship stuff for you. I'm sorry. The PMags, in case you want to know, come in 3 colors: black, tan, and orange. And yes, please hit up the Nerf Singapore Facebook group and someone will definitely be able to assist you with that. Zippo225 also asks, "Can you do a tutorial on extended plunger tube for Retaliator please?" That depends on whether or not I have the time to do so. Zippo225 also asks, "Is it hot all year round in Singapore?" Yes, it is. It's more humid than anything, and that is a little bit unfortunate, but at the same time we are an island very near the equator, so that's what it is. Zippo225 also asks, "Do you know how to do Liam's Nerf Mods Sleeper Brass Breach?" I don't know. I've never looked at it. I've never studied it, but if I did, I'm pretty sure I would be able to. Triple Bifurcation asks, "Hey, shout out to you, Triple B. Do you know martial arts? And if so, can you kick my butt? LOL, Xmas." Point. Oh yeah, I asked him about this and he actually said it was an exclamation point. I think he was using voice to text or speech to text, so that's why it didn't come off as exclamation point. I dare not say that I know martial arts. I took karate when I was young, or some of you call it karate, but I took karate when I was young, till I was about 12. Yeah, I got myself a junior black and then I stopped. So I don't think I consider myself as someone who knows martial arts. Can I kick your butt? I don't even want to try. I think I will get my ass whooped anytime. Nerf Dude Productions asks, favorite paint job on a Nerf blaster you have ever seen in pics or real life? There are too many to say, but I don't know who the artist was. I don't even know the name of the person, but I just happened to see some links, random links by clicking around on Taobao, and I saw this person that actually made some really awesomely detailed paint jobs. Now they're pretty milsim, but the weathering detail, I don't know how that person did that. It's just really amazing, and I'm trying it out on my own, and when I get I guess when I'm pretty satisfied with the result of what I'm trying out to get that same effect, I'll share it with you guys. But yeah, that's just amazing to me. Kat asks, brass breech or universal breech? And I'm sorry, I'm just not linking your two questions together because you asked these two questions quite far apart. My answer is brass breech anytime, any day, simply because the universal breech forces you to fire only Stephans, but the brass breech, not only is it fully sealed up, it allows you to use both full-length darts and Stephans as well. Eagle Strike Victor asks, do you do commissions for people that live in Singapore? I've answered this question earlier. Of course, it was phrased differently. No, I'm sorry, I don't. Aaron Shren asks, hey, shout out to you, Aaron. Hey, pSyk, how do you think the Nerf community in Singapore will fare in the years to come, considering all that has taken place in the past 2 or 3 months? Do you think that a more committed and proactive legislation would help to ameliorate the current circumstances? Dude, your English is awesome, man. I think, yes, a more committed and proactive legislation definitely helps to remedy or rectify the current problems in the Nerf group. If you guys don't know, the past 2 or 3 months has been riddled with a lot of admin issues, power struggles, and a lot of scalping issues that we particularly dislike. I'm sure you guys have a hint of what's going on, but I think that this current group of admins in the good or the Nerf Singapore page is pretty good, because these guys know what's going on. These guys know how to handle situations right, and to always take things from a very fair perspective. And these guys take the effort to approach things with the right approach. So I think that over time people will get educated, and it's kind of like a community culture kind of thing. So people will slowly get used to the culture once it's created. So people will come in and learn about the culture and get used to it and be a part of it, instead of trying to flip things around. I think that Nerf community in Singapore will be growing in the years to come, because these people are actually pushing, and these guys are actually doing the best that they can, in terms of organizing events, updating the page, taking initiatives, and starting mass orders, sharing good links. That used to be things like SG Nerf would do, and I think it's really awesome. So yeah, I'm just looking forward to seeing a brighter future for Nerf Singapore. Aaron Shen also asks, one last question for me. Sorry, hahas. I've got a friend who's into EDM, which is electronic dance music, and she intends to get into the whole scene of mixing tunes and mastering the electronic turntable. She has an aspiration to become a DJ someday. Do you have any advice for her, like where or how she can start out or be recognized in the near future? My advice to anyone in general, if you're interested in being a DJ, whether or not you choose EDM as your main genre of music, doesn't matter to me. My advice is to go out and spend some money and purchase equipment. Now, before you do that, go online, do a lot of research, find out about the different kind of mixing programs that you have online right now, and find out about the different types of equipment that you have. Are you going to go for traditional style, which is 2 turntables and a mixer? Are you going to go for a controller, which is a bit more portable? Things like that. You have to start with something. It's like saying, hey, I want to learn how to play the piano, but I don't own a piano. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter whether you own an electronic keyboard, whether you own an organ, whether you own a small piano or a grand piano or baby grand or whatever it is. You just have to own something akin to a keyboard so you can actually practice with. You know what I mean? So that's my first piece of advice. Tell your friend, go out, spend some money, do research, and think, and I guess ask herself what are her needs, and whether or not the equipment that she wants is able to fulfill her needs. The next thing is, if she wants to be a DJ's job is pretty simple actually. It's just, you know, making sure that music never stops and everyone maintains their groove. Once you get your equipment, you just gotta practice, and then you start by, you know, making playlists and stuff. So it all just snowballs naturally from there. So just take the first step and you'll be on your way, honestly. If you really want tutorials on turntablism, which to me is rarely used in EDM, you can always go online onto YouTube, look for tutorials on that. But most EDM DJs would be, you know, more of like live performing with things like the I guess the launch pad and stuff like that. So that's a totally different thing. So just go do research and see what she likes, but just buy equipment first and then try it from there. Hope that answers your question though. Azazen asks, maybe it's like Assassin, I don't know. Are people still using Enforce swords for battles? Yes and no, I guess. Enforce stuff are already seen nowadays in Nerf Singapore games, but they're not banned. People still do own them. It's just rare. So yes and no. The last question comes from Sylvester Ng, and he asks, do you help to repair Nerf guns? No, not really, I'm sorry. I could try to troubleshoot for you. If you have a question, just throw it to me online, and if I'm free I will answer back, and I will try and, you know, guess what your answer is and tell you what the rectification is. But yeah, I unfortunately am not able to. The reason why I don't want to help to repair people's Nerf blasters is simply because if I say yes to someone, then everyone else is gonna ask me, and then I would feel bad if I start to decline people, so I'll just decline people right from the get-go. And that wraps up this Ask Me Anything. I hope that you guys were satisfied with the answers. I tried my best to give you my honest answers without making fun of anything or anyone at all. I liked some of the questions. They were pretty awesome. Like I kind of guessed already, most of the questions were gonna be Nerf related, so I was right. I hope that by watching, you guys kind of have gotten to know me a little bit better. And yeah, I might conduct another AMA in future, I don't know, but I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. Even if you didn't ask a question, I hope that you guys enjoyed listening to my answers. If you guys like this video, I hope you guys give me a thumbs up, and if you guys are not subscribed to my channel, I hope that you guys consider subscribing, and stay tuned for the next video, I guess. Until the next time I see you guys, which is pretty soon actually, just pay the bills, and teamwork makes the dream work. This is a different angle altogether, so I don't know how I'm gonna end it, but bye.